The stories of mythological gods are both captivating and terrifying. If these demonic people and creatures were real, life today would be much different than how we know it, or maybe they're plotting to return to the mortal worlds when they're ready to take back their place. Either way, I'm glad I never had to encounter any of these horrifying creatures in today's list. In at number 5 we have Medusa. Medusa was one of the 3 Gorgon sisters along with Stetno and Euryale. They were the children of the ancient deities Photsis and his sister Ceto. Their parents were chthonic monsters from an archaic world. Her appearance is that of a winged human female. In the place of hair, she had living venomous snakes. The legend goes that if you were to look directly into Medusa's eyes, you would be instantly turned to stone. This made Medusa terrifying and fatal to many who tried to attack or even look upon her. She was an extremely beautiful woman as a way to incite people to look upon her beauty and be cursed by her eyes. This curse is not something that she chose. It's actually said that she was the unfortunate victim being cursed with this power. Medusa was cursed when she had an unwilling relationship with Poseidon. Even though she didn't want any relationship with him, the fact that it happened was enough for Athena to be enraged and curse her. She didn't want her to have any lovers for as long as she lived, so anyone who would gaze on her beauty would themselves be cursed. Due to her curse, she was feared and many tried to kill her due to it. She was often approached with the intention to take her out, but they would fall from the curse before they had the chance. This was until she was beheaded by Perseus. He was hailed a hero and brought the head to King Polydectes. He was given help from the gods to take her life. Even beheaded, she held great power and her head was used against their enemies in wars following this. Medusa's life was full of suffering, none of which was intentional on her part, but she suffered the most due to this. Even though it was not her doing, it's a good thing she is not real. If you could turn to stone just by accidentally looking at her, I think there would be a lot of people turned to stone by her today. Coming in at number 4 we have Whiro. Whiro is the lord of darkness and evil in Maori. Whiro is the lord of darkness and evil in Maori mythology. It is said that he lives in the underworld. According to some tribes, Whiro brings bodies down to the underworld when they pass on, when he then consumes them. Eating these vessels gives him a greater strength. It is said that this will eventually give him enough power to break free of the underworld. If this was to ever happen, he would devour everyone and everything on Earth. Some cultures believe that you must be cremated when you pass on to prevent this from happening. Whiro cannot gain strength from the ashes. Many people have lived in fear on Whiro and would do anything to prevent him from breaking through to the mortal realm. It is said that Whiro lives in a deep cave where he performs dark magic. He creates illness and disease to try and get as many vessels to consume as he can. He finds ways to release these illnesses onto the surface. He is one of the most active and feared gods of the underworld, and all associated with him are also feared. His biggest enemy is his brother Tane. Tane is the god of beauty and peace, and he looks over the forests and birds. He is a stark contrast to his brother. When his family grew frustrated of their confinement, they decided to separate. Whiro wanted to stay in darkness, but Tane wanted the light. From this moment they became enemies, with Whiro hating everything that Tane loved and protected. Hopefully Whiro does not exist. He could be in the underworld gaining strength as we speak, waiting for this moment. Coming in at number 3 we have Apophis. Apophis was the ancient Egyptian deity of chaos, the opponent to the sun god Re. His appearance is that of a giant serpent. He stretched 16 yards in length and his head was made of flint. Each night as the sun set, it is said that Apophis would wait for Re on the horizon and they would have a battle. Although Apophis would fall, he would never be permanently subdued and would return each night to try and stop Re's nightfall ritual. Apophis was never worshipped by the Egyptians like Re, but instead worshipped against. In an annual ceremony named Banishing of Apophis, a priest would build a box thought to contain all the evil of Apophis and then burn it. The people would then be saved from his influence for another year. The Egyptians even wrote a detailed book on how to defeat the evil gods, named the Books of Overthrowing Apep being another name given to the creature. The book went into detail on how to dismember and dispose of the great snake. The book even contained instructions on how to create a wax model of Apophis that you could destroy during the nightly battle as a way to aid Re. It is believed that you needed to protect yourself from Apophis once you had passed on. Since he lived in the underworld, your soul needed protection past the living realm. In the Book of the Dead, there are multiple spells on how to destroy Apophis once you were dead. They covered every base so that you were prepared to face the serpent no matter what. Coming in at number 2 we have Hel. Hel is the daughter to Loki and resides over a realm of the underworld of the same name. She was given this responsibility of ruling by Odin. She is a half blue and half flesh colored being. It is said she gets a portion of souls in the underworld to rule over and torture as she sees fit. Hel is described as being rather greedy, harsh and cruel. She shows indifference when it comes to the suffering of both the living and the dead. She has many powers at her disposal for being cruel in the underworld. These include age acceleration, disease manipulation, necromancy, and even the kiss of death. These powers were not just confined to her realm, and if she were to come to the mortal world she could use them to create chaos here. It is said she can also sometimes shapeshift like her father, something that can be very dangerous. She has been known to walk in disguise to get unfortunate victims bewitched by her beauty, just to use the kiss of death to bring them to the corner of hell for further torture. There have been depictions of Hel in today's media. The character of Hela from Thor Ragnarok is based on Hel's Greek mythology, and as you saw from that depiction, she was cruel and powerful, proving almost unstoppable. Also, she was gorgeous, because Cate Blanchett. I love Hela. She's the hero of Thor Ragnarok. And finally, coming in at number 1 we have Lilith. Lilith is a she-demon, once mythological god. Lilith was Adam's first wife. She was made from the same clay as him. Once on Earth she didn't understand why she had to be subservient to him when they were created as equals. Facts, Lilith. Facts. She made the choice to leave the Garden of Eden. Once she left, Eve was created to take her place and to serve Adam. Lilith left the garden she walked for a long time, maybe even years, until she was found by the archangel Samael, who we now know went on to become Satan. They quickly fell in love and created a place for themselves to live. He had a large influence on Lilith and is the reason she turned to being a demon. She quickly became more and more powerful. Samael left Lilith due to his own greed. She began to grow distaste for men. She gave birth to Samael's children and was then called the mother of all demons. She was also named the Queen of Hell. Her children, named Lilith, were winged sprites who had a tendency to be cruel and violent in nature. It was said they would attack men for their greed. She'd use them as a vessel to get her revenge on what had happened to her. She wanted to punish male greed and their need for power over women like her. Some say she wanted to take down Satan and take his place for herself, but other texts have them ruling together in harmony, and even some say they were married. Lilith is immortal along with her many other powers, meaning if she were real, she could be among us today. She can take any form she likes with her shapeshifting. She is also able to cast spells along with her own telekinesis. In modern media, she is also shown as using voodoo to control people to do her bidding as she wished. She is cunning and likes to use others to get what she wants. That way she does not put herself in danger in any way. If she was alive today, she would be right behind the feminism movement. She'd be leading the charge and I'd be behind her. Lilith. What a queen. Just the one woman who spoke out and was like, equality. And the men are like, no, sit the down. And on that note, I'll see you in the next video. You. You know? Chris? You know? Everyone equal, right? Right? I have as many rights as you do. You want that chair? I can also take it as well. You can share it. Aww. Exactly. We'll just share it. If these demonic people and creatures existed in real life today, were real, life today would be much different. Use a comma, you know? Their parents were chthonic. Their parents were chthonic monsters for an archaic. Their parents were chthonic. Due to her curse, she was feared many. I wish she would turn me to stone. I want some of Medusa. Whiro. No, that's for a different one. Apophis. I think it's Apophis. Apophis. Okay, let's go with that. Is it Ra? Have I been saying Ray? Is it Ra this whole time? I watched Infinity War and Endgame back to back at the weekend. I cried. I just spent the weekend crying. Do you like Marvel?
A little bit. I don't really like those movies, to be honest.
Don't know what to do with that information. I feel broken inside. Oh my god.